Vladimir Putin might not be the most powerful president in the world, but he is arguably the most feared. The man who went from a former intelligence officer to the president of one of the most powerful countries on the planet is considered by many to be the Adolf Hitler of his generation. Well, we all know how Hitler ended. Putin might not end like the former German dictator. However, like everything that has a beginning and an end, he will not always be in charge of Russia. Right now, it doesn't seem like Putin will step down from leading the Russians. So, only death can end Putin's reign. Well, Putin is no longer young. Considering this, Russia might have to start preparing for life without him. But what would Russia without Putin be like? Have you ever thought about this? Well, while you think of Russia without Putin, do well to like and share this video. Also, kindly subscribe to this channel to see more videos like this. Moving on. A lot will happen when Putin finally leaves the scene, and chief among them is a real-life Game of Thrones scenario. If you have seen the series Game of Thrones, you may have an idea of what the political space in Russia will be like. You see, Putin's absence will create a power vacuum, the likes of which hasn't been seen since Joseph Stalin left the seat of power. Well, based on the Russian constitution, the prime minister should take over power temporarily and stay in charge for about 90 days. His rule should end after an election is conducted. The 90-day period that the prime minister will be in charge is ample time for politicians and oligarchs to play whatever games they can to hold on to whatever power they can, regardless of how short that time may seem. There could be a coup. Putin might not want to leave Russia in an unstable state. This might make him choose a successor. Well, if, for any reason, he doesn't pick a successor, the power play could result in a coup or even a series of coups. You see, the aristocrats might see Putin's absence as a golden opportunity to seize power, and they might not stop at anything to do this, not even coups. Well, Russian aristocrats might not be the only ones who try to eliminate their perceived enemies. The military might do the same. So Russia could just go the way of some African countries. Russia could split into smaller regions. Before the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russia wasn't an independent state. The same is true with Ukraine. You see, the collapse of the Soviet Union birthed up to 15 states. No one saw this coming. As much as the Russians might not exactly like this, post-Putin Russia might be unable to stand the test of time and could end up going the way of the Soviet Union. Right now, Russia is so large, and not many people can keep such a vast region together. Even though it is a big region, it is made up of several autonomous regions that might want to become fully independent with Putin off the scene. You see, just like Crimea, not every region in Russia is keen on being a part of Russia. So these regions might just take their chances and shoot for independence. The regions that do not exactly seek independence might be interested in greater autonomy. This may not come easily, and it could result in a civil war. Well, we hope it doesn't come to that, as a civil war in Russia could destabilize the entire Eurasia region. The Russia-Ukraine war could end. The Russia-Ukraine war seems like Putin's idea, and when Ukraine was attacked, most people expected it to be a short war. So far, it doesn't seem like this war is going according to plan. It has lasted a lot longer than most people imagined. According to the original plan, Putin was supposed to see the end of this war. Sadly for him, it doesn't seem like this will happen. This war could outlive Putin. As much as the war in Ukraine is Russia's war, not everyone in Russia considers it to be a Russian war. To some others, it is simply Putin's war. Although most people in Putin's inner circle believe in this war, the new Russian leader might not. And even if he does, he might not have the will to keep executing this war. Why is this so? The war in Ukraine is Putin's way of restoring Russia to its former glory. This isn't working. Well, beyond the mere fact that things don't seem to be going according to plan, this war appears to have battered the Russian economy. And the next leader of the Russian people might be interested in simply rebuilding the damaged Russian economy. Since the war has had a terrible effect on the economy, he might just decide to pull the Russian army out of Ukraine. Russia could become less conservative. At the moment, Russia is as conservative as a country can be, but this might not always be the case. No one expects Russia to become as liberal as the other countries in Europe. However, with Putin out of the picture, there could be a major change. It might seem difficult for Russia to have a more liberal leader, as the next president after Putin might be chosen by the current Russian leader. Additionally, Putin is looking to pick a successor who will carry on his legacy. This could happen, but the big question is, how good is his legacy for the Russian people? Right now, Putin is super popular among the Russians, and this could go on for a while. Unfortunately, if this war doesn't end soon, his popularity might dwindle. Interestingly, if the Russia-Ukraine war continues after Putin's reign, and his successor decides to carry on, the effect of the war on the economy might make him less popular. This might force the successor to become less conservative if he hopes to revive the worsening economy. It might be all shades of chaos for Russia. Putin has been in charge for a very long time. He may have done the best for his country in the ways he saw fit. However, being at the helm of affairs for Russia for about 2 decades will only lead to instability when he exits the scene. Right now, the picture of events to come after Putin steps down might not be clear, but it might be difficult to get another leader who will rule Russia with a strong hand. Well, this is just one of the likely consequences of Putin staying in power for too long. We already spoke about the power struggles that could result from his death. Well, beyond these struggles, since Putin has led the country in the way he considers perfect, there might not be a frame of reference for the next leader to work on if he is not keen on following Putin's pattern. Even if he decides to follow Putin's pattern, he might not command enough respect to achieve what he sets out to. So no matter how you look at it, Putin's successor just might not be able to keep the country together. How long will Putin remain in power? The issues surrounding Putin's successor might seem important because no one expects him to remain in power for much longer. He is not the oldest world leader, but he is one of the oldest, and has been in charge for about 20 years. This alone is an indication that he might not be around for much longer. But that's not the only reason people think Russia might have to start getting ready for life without Putin. Another reason it appears Russians might want to get ready for Putin's absence is his health. There are rumors that Vladimir Putin might be sick. As much as it is not clear what the exact ailment might be, it is most likely Parkinson's disease. If it isn't Parkinson's disease, it is likely another neurological disorder. This is because he was once seen in a video with his back hunched, his hands fidgeting, and holding onto a table like he needed support. The Kremlin has put down rumors of Putin being sick. However, if this is just to cover up his sickness, he might still be alive when another leader takes charge. With this, he will have ample time to decide on his successor, watch things play out, and even influence lots of decisions. So Russia might never miss his absence, as things might just go on as if he's still in charge. Well, that's all we've got for you today. So what do you think Russia will be like in Putin's absence? Kindly tell us in the comments below. See you in the next video.